Hello, my name is Candaplay, and welcome back to another Overwatch video. This one, it's not really gameplay. This one I'm more of just going through from things I've seen online on like different social medias and kind of personally what I think is different things that I would change. Just things that have either been annoying, things that would either just like help like understand things better. Going from different characters, gameplay stuff, map, like voting things. Kind of just a little bit of things dabbled in. If there's anything I don't talk about that like is either a problem to some people or like some people like are just wondering about it, you can ask. I might make a part two if I find like a lot more stuff, or just respond in comments, depending on kind of how much I have. But I'm just kind of going through what I've kind of had right now. Or first I'm going to go through the new characters. I'll also try to have timestamps if I talk about things in like different sections. If I kind of just keep going off in different orders, I might not, but I'll try to have things timestamped, and I'll try to stay on track for which part I'm talking about. But for now I'm just going to start with the new characters. Domino, which
The perfect world is shaped by my hand.
from most people that I've heard and what I think myself, is easily the strongest of the new characters, maybe next to or close to Jetpack Cat, maybe Cat being a little stronger. They're kind of even. But she is very powerful in the sense of it doesn't really explain to like people that don't play her how to deal with her, or it's a little hard to understand from what like the trailer showcased. The ultimate ability, a lot of people think once they're in there, and what I thought right away is you're just stuck in there. Because in the showcase it said it stops them from doing damage and stops healing. You can break the barrier. Teammates can break it, you can break it, and even if you don't break it, the more damaged it is, the less damage it does. So let's just say, I don't know how much it has defaultly, but if the barrier is 500 health and it does 500 damage, if you get it down to like 200 health, it'll only do 200 damage. So it's just kind of a ratio that you don't have to fully destroy it. You can break it if you're on that team or if you're in there yourself. Next, this barrier is crazy. This barrier is easily got to be the strongest one in the game for the sole reason of each little section has 250 health, and there is multiple sections easily, and then it's a 6-second cooldown. Once the shield goes away, it's only 6 seconds left. It's 14 total, but the cooldown goes as soon as it starts. Also, there's 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 times 3, so there's 27 sections, all for 250 health, which is just an insane amount of health for something that you get back 6 seconds after it's gone. So like you can't really destroy it, and she can just keep playing around it. The main thing I would change with this character that I think needs changing is longer cooldown on that shield, or make it so the cooldown doesn't start until after the shield goes away, and instead of 14 seconds they can make it like 10 to kind of compensate. Those are the main things though. This beam, it's also kind of insane, but that's if you hit the headshot on the end of it, and then with a perk that allows you to go farther.
I have such impeccable taste.
Also the shield
What
stun,
can I say?
the one where you can go like this, is insane against a lot of dive characters, but the it is also kind of situational, and you have to use 2 abilities to use it. And like the biggest counter that I've kind of seen from the little bit of time she's been out is honestly kind of Doomfist, because he can just get around the shield very easily. He can get out if he needs to be, or punch, or like dive past her and punch her through the shield into the team. He can just play around the shield pretty easily, and then especially with his ult, just the survivability, he's pretty good against her. She doesn't really have mobility. Yeah, she has none, so he can punish her quite a bit. And then I would think also Winston, probably, especially with the perk that slows people down while you're hitting them. That one would probably be really good against her. So even though she can deal with dive with this, dive tanks I think will still be good, because like that looks like a lot of damage. It was like half of these bots' health. Tanks are obviously going to have more health, especially if it's 5v5 or 6v6. 5v5 they'll have more health. 6v6 you could have a Winston and a Doom both diving it, and kind of force them to swap. So that I think right now those are the easiest ways to deal with her. Next was Emre. Emre I think is honestly is like the most balanced of all of them. Like he's in a really solid spot. Like his kit is obviously just run and gun type thing. Like he does damage hitting your shots, has the fast reload. He can burst down Jetpack Cat very good. So since everyone's playing Jetpack Cat right now, if you are anywhere decent enough at aiming, you can deal with her, especially with the scope, making your shots more accurate, less recoil. And I'm pretty sure it allows you to shoot 5 meters farther before drop off. But I think like his kit overall there is very solid, especially with the the grenade and Siphon Blaster. Siphon Blaster, if you're going against Roadhog or something like that, just having unlimited shots until either Roadhog's dead or runs away. Or Frag Grenade, just being able to do 150 damage on contact is crazy with 2 charges because you can just spam both of them. Like if you're waiting, say outside their spawn door, if you're like a spawn holding them or something, or even anything, if they go and just throwing 2 grenades, they have no counterplay. Unless it's Suzu, that's the only thing they'll save them, or like a recall. Any immortality thing, that's the only thing they'll have, and they'll be forced to use it if they have it. His ultimate is very strong, and he can move pretty fast. He has a good amount of speed, and the heavy thing is such a big thing, and you can just hold left click. When I was first using him, I thought you had to like spam left click in between your right clicks. I'd never even tried it, but you can just hold left click, and you can hold both of them actually. You can just hold, and then immediately off cooldown you'll be able to use it. And it's a very big explosion, very lot of damage. I can't speak. And you're pretty much guaranteed to get a kill with it every time, unless they kill you immediately after activating it. His ultimate, though, yeah, it's very strong. So I don't think he really needs any changes as of right now. I think maybe in the future, nerfing ultimate, like I think the only thing that they could do for nerfs to make the ultimate not so insanely strong to like just guarantee kills no matter what is just make it so you shoot slower, like in between each heavy shot and light shot, just like a little slower. It doesn't have to be crazy amount, but I think in the future when people start getting better and he becomes really good, I think that's like the only thing he would need. Anran, I haven't played her since the beta because I didn't realize anything changed with her, but apparently they nerfed her vertical mobility, which I don't think was needed, but apparently they nerfed her vertical mobility and cleanse, which cleanse I understand because this already makes her immortal. It doesn't really need a cleanse, especially since she has 2 survivability perks with the overhealth and healing with it. Cleansing's kind of just a little excessive, but I don't think the vertical nerf was needed. I think that was fine. A lot of people are saying she's definitely not as fun to play anymore, so I think reverting that would be a fine change. She still does an insane amount of damage though, like her ultimate, just being able to just do that and they're just dead. You can throw in fans if they're getting healed and stuff because it'll critical hit, but it's just insane the amount of damage she can do with a burst. But I haven't really played her, so most things that I've been hearing with her is just reverting her vertical movement, which that I'd be fine with. Jetpack Cat, again, one of the maybe strongest. I've been loving playing this character whenever Mizuki gets picked because he's the main one I've been playing. Does only have 225 health, so it's not like insane survivability, but the best thing to easily go is claws out in my opinion, and then purr. Doing this, I mean, you just click that and it'll pretty much full kill them with no shots. Like you'll need 1 shot. So playing this character is so good with that. Just like what you pretty much want to be doing. I know I'm talking about like changes them. I'm kind of giving tips too right now. Is like, because you have infinite flight, you can go above them. You can set different keybinds to be able to move around faster and use like fuel. But just like go in circles up and down above their head stuff. Basically make it, because this is a first person game. So think of like how you would be looking for the cat. Like you'd be going up. Your mouse is now at the top of your mouse pad. You're like trying to look down. Like you're moving your mouse all over trying to like hit them. If they have small mouse pad or they're not like the #1 tracker in the world, they'll miss most of their shots unless they get lucky. So you can just like go in, click your E, just hit like a melee, or I need to stop clicking shift, and just like doing that. That's like honestly just really good for flying or melee or ground, because if they're in the air you can also go under them and stuff. So you just want to be as mobile with your fuel, and if they start getting healed or get like any sort of team help, because you move very fast in your fuel, you just want to get the fuck out. You don't need to take that. Just let them waste abilities helping each other and trying to kill you, and just get out, allow your team to push in with them being low on abilities. Main thing I would change though is maybe get rid of or like change some of the perks so it's not as DPS-y, of like move in, that type of thing. Or like the main thing I think is change the fuel source, because like it goes up immediately and you can get it very quickly, so you're just always moving fast. So the main thing I would change is just slower rate. You get it at a slower rate, and maybe like the startup is a little slower, but I think startup's fine. But just slower rate I feel like is the main thing, and then maybe damage on the pause, but even that I think is fine. I would think the main thing is just how much damage like claws do, or like some of the perks do, and then the refresh rate of the fuel. I think those alone would balance this character a lot more. Not obvious. I don't think it needs all three of the nerfs. Just like picking one or two of them would help fix it. Was there something else I was gonna say with it? I don't think so. Oh, one change. Oh, yes. Another change was with the ultimate. The ultimate I think is fun, but I think something they should do, because like once you ult, you pounce down, and it immediately puts out like your tether thing automatically. So something I was kind of thinking about, because it does that, is it'd be cool if when you ult, if you don't hit anybody, only if you don't hit anybody, or even if you do, I guess it'd be fine. Make it so like for the next 10 seconds, and they could even make this a perk, make it for the next 10 or 15 seconds, there's no limit on how many people can get on your tether, because I think that would just add a lot of funny moments of like you being able to ult right out of spawn, your entire team getting on, and then just flying all 5 or 6 of you, depending on if you're in 5v5 or 6v6 to point. I think that could just be such a funny thing to see and do. But yeah, that's like the main thing with the ult. Oh, and then maybe another thing, because it's kind of annoying, is after you ult, don't automatically put out your tether, because if you miss and you're just sitting here with your tether, it looks so weird. Like you're trying to move around and stuff, and you're just like, it feels kind of weird. But that's just personal opinion of how it's felt. I'm sure like if you get used to it, it's fine, but
I'll decide my own fate.
Mizuki is, I think he needs honestly some big changes. A lot of people were saying like they think he's going to be strong, but now a lot of people, or mainly because of his ultimate, they thought it was going to be super strong. There is like this kid, I feel like I'm never making any impact with this character. He just feels like he's never not like valuable in a sense of like doing stuff. Like he'll get big healing numbers because he has aura, and it's just always healing. But that doesn't necessarily mean he's doing it. It's just always active. I feel like almost he's too evenly spread out though, like across everything, like with a little bit of movement and being able to return with the healing with the aura, having some sort of like control ability with the chain, and then like healing with the hat. I feel like he's just so evenly spread out between everything, and then with like headshots as well, with a perk that allows you to do more damage. And then this ultimate, because this ultimate makes the walls and head, but it doesn't do like any healing, and it's only 6 seconds, like it's already gone. Most of the time that will not affect a team fight unless you get lucky enough for it to block a Pharah ult. But for ults like that, they would have to be outside of it, so you'd have to, if they're like right here ulting your teammate right there, you'd have to line it up, like get the time to line it up, and do that within the time that the Pharah activates her ult and before your teammate dies. Which a lot of the time it just won't happen unless you get lucky. So biggest changes is honestly something that like because I watched a lot of interviews for the spotlight, like pretty much every single one. And when it was talked about, I heard it multiple times. The devs talked about giving him a wall climb, but they just didn't. They thought like it just made sense, and they ended up not doing it. So I feel like that's one thing I definitely want, just something to help him move around a little more, because that's it. That's his only form of movement, is that little dash forward and then returning, which a lot of time I don't see myself doing unless it's like a 1v1 situation, which with all the new characters, a lot of the time you're not in. You're playing as a team. So either that or something I've wanted in a character for a long time, and I mean, since he already has an aura, it would make sense. And it's like a wall run, not a wall ride like Lucio, but something like you jump on the wall and you run in a straight line for like a little, or for like however long it would go, like 2 seconds, and then you slowly start descending like more and more and more until finally you just like drop off, but like 2 seconds, and then over the duration of the next 2 seconds you start going down, and then in that time of you being on the, or within the next 2 seconds of dropping down before you finally just fall off the wall. But they could make it then like within the time you're on the wall, if you jump on and connect to another wall, it like resets it. I think that'd be such a cool thing for a character. It would add like a more skillful thing from like the Lucio wall riding. It'd be like a worse version of that in a way, but like slower version, which would make sense because this guy doesn't have the Lucio skates. Because Lucio, like the way his works, he gets on a wall and he starts going up and then straight. That's how his works. So this one being kind of like the opposite, and you actually have to like manually do it, could add for some like very fun ways to get around the map. Obviously slower. Definitely not being able to just like go and like do this insane movement Lucio can do. But I think that'd be really cool. The healing Casa, I don't like how much the healing drops off for the, or not healing Casa, I think I said that completely wrong. Oh, I did. 90, 70, 50, 30. So it's by 20 each time. And with a perk that gives it 1 extra time, it goes from 90 to 80. What would it be? 90, 80, 60. Because it's by 10 each time. 1 additional time each bounce increases its healing by 10. So it's just 90, 80, 60. So it's still by 20. It's just 10 more. So 60, 40, and then 20. Or would it be 40 then for the other person and then 20 for yourself? So I think that might just give you less healing. Unless it stays at 30 for yourself. But it just decreasing more. It's still like you'll get 1 more bounce, but the 1 more bounce will heal by like 20 or 30 or like very low amount, to where this doesn't really, for a major perk, it really feels like it's not doing anything. One thing that they could do is just make it so it doesn't lose healing per bounce if it's going to be a major, because that kind of sucks. It just feels bad. And then going kind of into the next topic that kind of also applies to the heroes and Mizuki is the old DPS passive. For a lot of people that don't know, because it wasn't really talked about, the old DPS passive where it would like reduce the healing that someone would receive for like 2 seconds after you do damage. Everyone now does it. Every character does it. It doesn't say it, but every character, like if I was to hit Tracer, she now has 30% reduced healing for 2 seconds. This applies to everyone except for tanks. Tanks receive it at 15%. And in team fights where everyone's obviously always taking damage, an aura ability is supposed to like help with that. But Mizuki's healing is very little. Like starting at the 1, you're only doing 3.5 healing per second. And that constantly being reduced by 30% at like all times will never, ever help out in a fight. I don't think they apply the passive because they're bots, but like this is just like what it is defaultly. So like 30% reduced of this at all times, it never feels like it's doing anything. And then even with it being when it's at its max, it only goes up to 14, so still 30% reduced from 14 is pretty much what healing you're actually going to be getting. You'll never really be getting the 14. And then 20 for allies, again, just 30% of that, which is what, 6 reduced, because so you'd realistically only ever be healing, or most of the time healing allies for 14 healing per second during when it actually matters, unless like they get around a wall and you're just sitting there staring at them. for it to very slowly heal him. And I mean, I've just always hated, I guess, the DPS passive ever since it was released. I hated it, and every season they just kept buffing and buffing it. I understand it, but it just makes, because my favorite characters were always like Lucio, who has like the aura healing, and it just makes them feel so weak because they're constantly doing so little healing because of it. And a change would either be remove it, which I do think that would kind of break the game, so maybe not, or just buff auras. I think all auras could just be buffed to compensate for 30% reduced healing, since every role is getting it. Like when DPS just had it, like it would still make a difference because there was only 2 people on the enemy team applying it. So unless they were playing like Ashe with Dynamite, you could still heal people on your team even if it's not everybody. But now that everyone applies it, you can very feel it in game. You can definitely feel it. You're just sitting there and like you forget you have it. Like you forget this passive exists because it's never doing anything, even when it's at max. Like yeah, I just kind of wish they would buff auras in. Like it could do like double the healing and it would still maybe be balanced like just fine. Also his ultimate, I think it should heal more, last longer. Like only 300 health over the duration of 6 seconds, which 6 seconds is very little for an ultimate, and only 300 is still very little. And I think that's pretty much everything with him. Yeah, but those are the biggest changes. I really wish those were different because I love the character design on this character, but it's so hard to play him in a lot of situations with that, unless you're just gonna be like a very selfish player and run off with your aura to go try to like DPS, which he can't even really do all that well either. Like it's 3 headshots unless you have the perk, then it's 2 with the if you chain him, which the chain is very difficult to hit a lot of time. Like even just that was so close to him and it still missed. Like you have to be perfectly accurate. There is no leeway on it. I think that's them, all characters, main characters, unless there was like an honorable mention that I just wanted to like talk about something I could change, because I think there was, I just forgot who. Maybe I'll come back to it if I remember it. Yeah, biggest thing out of all those, wall run could be very good, I'm just saying. And obviously just buff auras. I think buffing auras could be very nice. Next thing is with the story. First of all, please fix the notification. It is very annoying to me. Like there's nothing actually here and you still say I have it. With the addition of 5 new characters, and they're supposed to be important to this year's story, we don't really know anything about any of them except for now Emre. So I kind of wish we just knew more about them, because all we know so far is during the spotlight when they like said who they are. I wish there was more, like, even if it's not like comic type stuff like this, like just like it could be a written thing, like kind of paragraph of like what they're currently doing, how they got involved, something in game for people to learn about it. I think that could be very nice for people that aren't always online or always watching every single spotlight. Something that, so they could just understand like, why is Mizuki infiltrating the yokai? Why is he friending Kiriko? Was like stuff like that. I think that could be pretty cool. One thing I saw a lot of developers again during the spotlight interviews already talking about it, and how like this could be a good idea because streamers were bringing it up, is different, or changing how the map voting works to where like if it's a majority vote of like 10-1 or 9-1, the 1 won't matter and it'll still be the 9 or 10, which that could be nice. But I think they could take it a step further, since a lot of people don't vote, especially in quick play. Making it percentage based, like if 80% of people pick one map, it's guaranteed to be that map. I think that would just remove a lot of frustration of like, this is so annoying, like what was the point of even voting if it's just going to be that map anyways. I think that would fix a lot of that. Also, holy, I'm out of breath. I've been like just trying to remember what to say. I've not breathed like at all. Holy. Weapon skin, that was the next thing. This is like the last thing. I think there was more I was gonna say, but again, I have a terrible memory. So if I forget, I might make another video of like the additional stuff. The new weapon skin, I actually really like it. The only thing is it doesn't say how much like you need. Like I know it's because I've played this game for so long. Like what I have almost 900 hours in this game. 700 hours. Okay, I was looking at levels, not hours. And that this is just in matches. This isn't even in game. I don't think this counts training room and everything that I love to sit in and just run around. So that's the only reason I know why it works like this. But make it say 3,000 because I know you need the competitive points. I know you need 3,000 of that, and you can't use legacy points unless it's like a previous year, obviously like this. But make it say that you need 3,000 because like right now it just looks like it's locked and it's an unobtainable thing. So a lot of people are probably gonna. I've seen a lot of people confused of like, do I have to hit diamond? How does this work? Why can't I get it? A lot of people are confused. So I think it like just move the words up like this and just put 3,000 of this would fix a lot of that. Oh, another thing I could do. Have like this in both languages. Make it so this can say in whatever language he's saying and also in English. Because like some of these I want to use, like they could be cool, but nobody knows this language. Like nobody's gonna know what ma uzaka do means. Nobody knows that unless you play this character heavily and you know what the voice line is tied to, which people are never gonna know. So I think just like changing that could be nice, or like adding that could be nice. That might be it for what I know of. Was there? I feel like there's more, but I will not remember it right now. I think that is it. Oh, a change I did see on other people's behalf that I've never really done drives. I think I was gonna try to do it the very first like time it was released, but you just needed to play way too much, and I didn't have the time with my job at the time to be able to do that, so I never got it. The drive thing, make it so you can use previous drives once because they look different every time. And some people really like how some of them looked. So just making it so you can pick which one you want to use could be very nice for people. Or if like someone like say me has a job or they like work really hard, but they have like this time period or like the week of drives, maybe they have off or they don't work as much, maybe something along the lines of that. And they were able to just grind up a bunch of the progress to be able to get like a really good or like a higher tier drive. And then future seasons they're not able to do that anymore. They could still use it if it looks cool. So just like being some people with like actual or jobs like that to actually work all day, it would just be nice for them. Just being able to use that at all times. That would be very nice. Oh, did I guess I could say, because like I said it like a counter to her. I could say for everybody. Hinder, I guess for her. For Cassidy. Or like a melee character, because you won't have to aim after she does like her E ability and all that. Those could be good against her, I guess. Emre, it's not really like any counters or any not counters. He's pretty even on. He's more skill level. So it's just be better than him, I guess. If you want like an actual counter, if you're playing tank, go someone with a shield or something that can eat bullets, something like that. So like his sidearm, his pistol won't get any value, and you can stop the grenades if he has sticky grenades and stuff like that. DPS, you could go May for same reason, just a wall, having something like that, or someone with like fade, like Reaper's fade thing, something that you can get away if he ever runs up on you like that. You could go hit scan to just hit scan. Flying characters, you're going to be very vulnerable, so unless it's like Echo that can move around very fast, like Pharah would probably be very weak against him unless you're really good at pressuring hit scans, like if you have a lot of hours on Pharah. But dive won't, I feel like, really be as useful against him because If he has sticky grenades, he can just stick you with that, and his pistol can allows him to move and jump more. So you can just get away and lifesteal with it. Jetpack Cat. Simplest thing, Ash, I've seen is very good against Jetpack Cat. It only has 225 health. Bastion will be good against him. Pretty much any hit scan. Just whichever hit scan you're the best with will be good. I know Cassidy can be good as well. He can be really good. Mizuki, I feel like he's the weakest out of the bunch. So like again, a lot of characters, there's not like one specifically. A lot of characters will probably get him. It'll really depend on if he hits his chain ability. Dive can be really good against him unless he has chain, because the only way for him to activate his recall to use it ahead of time. So unless he knows you're coming, obviously, if you just dive on him, he won't be able to set it up. Brawl, like he'll be able to set it up if you're playing Brawl and you like charge at him or something with Reinhardt. But diving, he won't have as much time to react. You can get value out of that. Unless you take too long, then obviously he could set it up. So if you're very bad at dive, don't do that. You could go Widow. If you're good with Widow, like a hit scan like that, again, something far range. He can't shoot far. That is another change. I wish he could shoot farther. And make it so like the ricochets, when it hits a wall, it resets the duration of how long it goes. So maybe not make it go farther defaultly, but make it so it can only ricochet 2 times, and each time it hits a wall, it resets the duration of how far it can go. I think that could be nice, but he can't shoot that far. Maybe like I don't even know, because like double maze length maybe of her beam is his range, maybe a little less. Air units can be really good against unless he hits the chain, but chain is hard to hit, and if you have multiple air units, he only has 1 chain. But yeah, a lot of things will counter. Mid-range heroes maybe not as much, because he'll still be able to hit it and his ultimate will affect you, but again, it's a 6-second ultimate. If he uses it and you're playing mid-range, go behind a wall, go behind anything, because you can't damage any of them, so it's pointless to try anything. Wait like 5 seconds, poke back out. By the time you get back in the fight, it'll be gone. Unless they obviously end up buffing the duration, which I hope, or doing something new with him. But a lot of things can counter him. He's just very skillful as well. He has a very high skill ceiling. So it really just depends as well on how good they are. And that's all the new characters. And I think that's everything I need to talk, or I was going to talk about for this one. Again, if I have more, I'll say it in a future one. If you, for some reason, stuck around this long, though, think about hitting subscribe. It would be very appreciated. And if you like the video, like it. I will see you guys, though, in the next one.